Hey guys, Adrian Cauguiran here, and today I want to bring you guys a frequently asked questions video and really emphasize on the frequently. So these aren't questions that are curated from you guys or Twitter or anything of that nature. These are literally like the most common questions that probably get asked or that I see in the comments, or just over the last 8 years of me doing this, I can kind of like think that I've heard over and over, whether it's on or offline. So with that, let me jump right into it. This kind of obviously varies on when I'm asked it, but obviously right now it's relative to my business. So to kind of go in depth without getting too detailed, and I've done separate videos on this, as of right now, to simplify it, I am a content creator. My official title is CEO. I'm a chief executive officer of both my companies. I own Digital Dojos and ScreenCap, and they're both separate entities. So Digital Dojos is a technology network where I do all my tech content. That's news, reviews, and it's very journalism based. We report on the news and cover products, and that is one spectrum of what I do, while the other side is ScreenCap, and that is client services. I work with clients, I work with app developers, blogs, and other various clients to produce video work for their specific needs. So what I do for a living is I create content. I make things on the web for people and for my audience, and that's what I make my living off of. And it brings up a lot of different areas in it. That's advertising. There's a whole bunch of other revenue streams, but to keep it simple, that's what I do for a living. So I am, as of this video, I'm 19. I was born January 4th, 1995. I was born here where I'm currently at in Okinawa, Japan. And I've lived in Japan for a majority of my life. Only 1 year was spent in California. So I'm currently residing right now in Okinawa, Japan as well. And as far as my ethnicity, I am not Japanese. I don't speak Japanese. I am Filipino. I'm full Filipino, 100%. So yeah. I'm comfortable. I get by. I get this question a lot regarding my businesses and stuff like that. I'm fortunate enough to have come to financial independence a little bit earlier in my lifetime. But make no mistake, it came with hard work and sacrifice and all those things. So I like to say I'm comfortable, I'm getting by, but to me, there can always be more. There can always be more made, there can always be more saved and all that good stuff. So, I'm wealthy, I guess if you want to say it like that. I have a good amount of money for my age, and that really, again, it took a long time to accumulate. It's just something I've always seen when I was younger, that I wanted to be financially independent, and I had big financial goals for myself before I reached the age of 20. So I've worked really hard to attain those. I do not. I didn't go to college. I graduated from Kubasaki High School here in Okinawa, Japan, and it wasn't until junior year really to when I realized that I was already making a sufficient living off of what I'm doing, and I only saw it progressing from there. So I didn't really plan on going to college. I wasn't going to spend 4 years trying to find something I wanted to do when I already knew deep down that the business, and I wanted to put my full time into it. So as far as, as soon as I graduated and was no longer a full-time student, I gave all my time to my career. So that's what I want to do now. That's what I'll be doing. I'm not going to say that, it's going to be what I'm doing for the next 5 to 10 years, because things will change. I'll have new interests. I'll dive into new things. But it's probably always going to be passion-driven and not so much going to school for anything. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the path you want to take, that's the path you want to take. So YouTube, I've been doing it, like I said, for 8 years. My 8th year anniversary just recently came up. I started a long time ago at the age of 11, when I had issues with my computer, and I looked up some tutorials on how to fix common issues like the hard drive and stuff like that. And then from there, I realized I never really understood how the computer worked, the components inside. I watched more videos, and I realized I'm sure a lot of other people have problems just like this, and I wanted to kind of share my solutions out there. So what I did is I looked up the top 20 most common computer problems, and I started to post them all out there and just solutions to them, so that way people would find that content useful, and from there it kind of just took off. So I get emails from time to time where people ask me my advice on various topics, whether it's I talk a lot about stock or trading in my vlogs, how I'm trading in stocks or my businesses, and people always ask me for advice, and I always take my advice with a grain of salt, because it's always going to be different for each individual. It's going to be different for the situation you're in, and my results aren't, if you follow exactly the same path I did, it doesn't mean you're going to get the same results. And I don't mean to say that to discourage you, I'm just saying that I'll give my advice and I'll point you in a direction, but at the end of the day, you're going to do what you think is right, and that's all that matters. But I'm always open to questions and all that and recommendations. But again, as far as career advice, financial advice, I'm not totally certified to give that 100%. Currently, I use an iMac. This is the latest, whatever the latest edition is, or not the latest edition, but this is the slimmer iMacs. I want to say the 2013, 2014. I'm not positive on the year. Has like 32 gigs of RAM in it, I think, or something to that effect. 16 gigs, sorry, 16 gigs of RAM. It's an i5 quad core. For my phone, my daily driver, I use an iPhone 5S. I have a MacBook Air for other mobile needs, an iPad as well. So very Mac OS X centric. I also have another iMac running Windows on it, so I have both sides of the coin. But yeah, that's just my basic setup as far as computers and technology goes from what I use day to day. And while I have no problem, if people have your own religious beliefs, as long as you keep that to yourself, like, you know, as long as you don't bring that into any other spectrum, then it's all good and fair. You'll believe what you want to believe. Me personally, I don't believe in any, you know, God, I guess you would consider that an atheist. I don't believe in an afterlife. And for that matter, I don't believe in any hell or devil or anything of that nature. I just believe things are the way they are, and you live and you die, and you do the best between those two periods. It's something I did a long time ago when I first started working from home, and it's the idea of when I get up every morning, I get dressed up, it gets me in a mentality of work, and it represents an image of who I want to be and the person I want to be known for. I want to be known for that, you know, I don't have to get asked why I'm wearing the suit. People just kind of know type thing. And I work hard to do that. I work hard to uphold and build that image for myself, and it really does switch this mentality, even though I'm at home and I can slack off, that I'm here to work. So that's the whole reason. And I just like I feel comfortable in these set of clothes. This is who I am. I like the menswear. I like that, all of that stuff. It's just my personal taste. What am I interested in? And I think if it comes down to it, I like learning in general. I like learning about new things and various things in whatever category. You know, philosophy and reading just a whole bunch of different stuff on different topics. Obviously, I love technology as a whole. I like learning and keeping up to date with everything that's changing in the world. You know, I have fashion in terms of like luxury and stuff. I like keeping up with that stuff, seeing the new stuff and brands and watches and like, I know it's a weird word, but horology, like, you know, the study of time, you know, watches and all that. I like knowing about that stuff, and I like collecting things and things like watches. Like I said, I have an ongoing collection and all these different stuff. But yeah, I mean, outside of work, it's really just learning about different things and trying to be knowledgeable or have some sort of knowledge in those areas, because, you know, to be able to talk about something outside of just what I do for a living. Anyways, guys, that kind of concludes my top 10 most frequently asked questions. If you guys have questions of your own that you want to ask for future Q&A videos, feel free to leave those down in the comments below or email me, whatever you feel, you know, works out best for you. You can reply to me on Twitter @KidGuru. So that all said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it lets some insight into some of the questions that I've always been asked. And I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.